The problem with us, sometimes we become very complacent. So you get to a certain level, you were climbing, you were hungry, then you get to the certain level. And that's what happened with the level of our leadership in the country, is that they were climbing, they were hungry, they were actually in the trenches, fighting, carrying guns. They got into power, got into suits, got into blue cars, and then they became complacent. They were comfortable. They forgot about why they wanted to be in the struggle in the first place, why they wanted to liberate our people in the first place, why black executives fought to climb the ladder in the corporate sector. But when they got to the top, they kicked the ladder. They only wanted a few of themselves to be at the top of the ladder. So sometimes we become complacent with welcome to the 4iR's podcast. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Sipho Masigo. I'm the host. So I want to thank you once again for liking, for sharing, for commenting and engaging me on my podcasts. And look, the podcast has been growing from strength to strength. The numbers are looking good. And of course, it's only been 3 months that I've been doing this. Some of you are new, and I really do appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel, for joining me, for following me. TikTok, we're sitting on just almost 12,000 followers within 3 months. And I must admit that TikTok has been crazy. A lot of our views in 3 months, we've hit just over 1 million views on our videos. So I really do appreciate it. And I want to appreciate each and every one of you who share this content, who really encourage me to continue with this content. So I'm doing this for you, and I'm doing the best that I can. So, in fact, you'll see my previous video. I was ranting a bit. I was addressing the issues of national importance, and I spoke to them. So watch that episode to get context into what the rant or my unfiltered conversation was about. All right. So this particular episode is a little bit more different. I'm more chilled. It's really about empowering you as a young person in South Africa today, or just about anywhere. So, and this podcast is for young people who, you see, Runane Rukholane, Neresna Machrut Mana Longore, they could just teach us and say, Ndwana, you see, when you grow up, you're gonna maybe want to start a family, maybe you wanna look for a job, maybe you wanna go and study further. And when you finish studying, you're gonna look for a job, you're gonna get into a job, you're gonna work your first salary, you're gonna wanna buy clothes, you're gonna work on your identity, you're gonna work on your credit profile, you're gonna start taking up accounts, you're gonna start accumulating debt, building your credit profile, and sometimes you're gonna make a lot of mistakes. You're gonna take too much credit, you're gonna take a house credit, you're gonna take a car credit, you're gonna get loans for whatever reasons. You're gonna take a loan on your education. You're gonna owe the bank, you're gonna owe financial institutions a lot of money. You're gonna want to be a parent. You're gonna start deciding, there's this woman, there's this guy that you met, you wanna settle down, you don't know them from above soap. You were just impressed with their looks, how they looked, how they made you feel, how they spoke to you. You're gonna want to settle down with them, and you're gonna want to have a family. Maybe make them pregnant. Maybe he makes you pregnant. Maybe you don't know that along the line the relationship doesn't work out. He leaves you, you leave her, you leave your child fatherless. You don't know the financial implications that come with it. You don't know the mistakes you are creating today, how they're going to haunt you tomorrow. You don't know the car you bought today, you might not afford it in 3 years, in 4 years. The bank might repossess it. You don't know that where you are renting today, where you've bought your property, you might lose it as a result of a job loss. like we've seen job losses happen. So a lot of the mistakes that I've gone through, that some of my peers have gone through, we are not imparting them on the younger generation. So part of the essence of the Free Ride podcast is to share knowledge with free riders. And I call it free riders because it's truly inspired by free thinking, spirited people. People who do not fit in the box, people who have kicked the box, people who are out of the box, people who think differently. And the majority of you kids born in the 2000s, in the late 1990s, you are free-spirited. You are not ingrained with this scared, fear-mongering, like we were in the 80s, in the 70s, born in the 70s and raised in the 80s. We lived in fear. We didn't know much. We grew up in poverty. We thought gore, success, making money, earning an income is all part of success. And you realize along the way that things that you prioritize as success, they are not necessarily true reflection of success. If you look at South Africa today, we are probably the most indebted country in Africa today. The middle class is not a middle class as it was seen in the 90s, in the 2000s. What we see or perceive as the middle class is slowly shrinking, and the majority of the middle class is dropping, losing jobs, companies are closing, their businesses are failing, and the majority are unemployed. Poverty among black people, it's sitting at just about 65%. And we are the majority as black people. And yet we are the ones facing the most poverty. Even though we have a black government in charge, we still are the most people who face the most inequalities because of our large numbers. So I thought about all of this stuff, and I thought, okay, what can I do in my little space, in my little podcast, to be able to share information, ke rute, ke fane ka lesedinyana, and just be able to impart a little bit of knowledge. So I wanted to speak about a talk that I've put together, that when I get invited to speak at a school, at a church, at a whatever organization, I'm going to speak more about it, because it's a reflection of my life. It's a reflection of the society we see today. It's a reflection of people that I know have had to go through in their lives. And I call it the 4iR's, okay? It's the 4iR, the fourth industrial revolution. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the 4iR's. And this is the 4 internal R's. So all right, so the 4iR's is the review, the reboot, rebuild, as well as the rebrand. Those are the 4iR's, okay? Why the 4iR's? If you, like me, I'm 44 years old, like you, whatever the age group you are, you have probably rebuilt, rebranded, rebooted yourself 2 or 3 or 4 times in your life. You were a baby, then you became a toddler, and then you became a teenager, you became a young adult in your 20s, then you get into your 30s, you get into your 40s. So every time you have changed somehow. So sometimes you are not even aware of it, because you're just living life, but you're actually going through the process. And that's why I figured, let me put it together in a way that makes you understand a lot more better, right? So let's look at the first point, the first R, as I jotted it down. So the review part. So very often, many of us, including myself, I became unemployed, and I went through a bit of a difficult patch where I've had to re-ask, re-look, and say, "Entlek sipho o kae ntate?" What are you going to do now? Okay, that journey has ended. And now what are you going to do, right? Before that, I was a spokesperson of the Speaker of Council. When I got into that role, I knew nothing about it. And I had to learn. And before that, I was the head of media and comms for the ANC. I knew nothing about that role. I had to learn. Before that, I was a councillor. I didn't know anything about it. I had to learn. And all these phases of our lives that we go through, you move into a new job, you move into a new house, you find a new partner, you have a child. It's a point where you actually pause and in a wheelchair current, like, what's going on? So it's a point where you need to review your life. All right. So I check no unka stock no or like ke go kae. And this is a point where you need to be honest with yourself. You can't lie to yourself. You can't make stories. And you got to be able to ask yourself the 4 following questions, all right? So when you're at the review stage, you got to ask yourself the 4 following questions, right? The first one, how did I get here? How did I get here? Just like if you get into a car, you go komagaeng, you're going on holiday, you go visit your family. You know exactly where you are going, and you know exactly what routes. So in your life, you need to be able to ask yourself, you said you were going somewhere in your life. You were growing. So you were a baby, you were a teenager, you were a young adult. Now you are here. So ask yourself, like, how did I get here? I built a network. My network helped me get here. Okay, cool. Are you where you want to be? Right? Are you where you want to be? So the second question is, why did you get here? Right? So this is where you ask yourself, why? Why did you get here? Why? There's a reason why you are where you are. So why? Why? No, you got here because you got a job from there and you got this and you got that. Okay, you're highly indebted. Your house is about to be repossessed. You're about to lose your car. Why did you get there? You've lost your job. Why did you lose your job? And then once you understand your why, then you're able to find reasons to getting out of this mess that you are in, right? Then who played a part in getting you here, right? Somewhere along the way, somebody played a part. It might have been you hanging out with the wrong friends. You were trying to keep up with the Jones. You bought a car you can't afford. You lived in an area you can't afford. You had a child with a guy you shouldn't have. You married a woman you shouldn't have. So who played a part in getting you where you are? Your manager fired you. The company thought you were the last in and the first one out. And therefore they decided, no, you must go. And then you must ask yourself, okay, now that I've answered the 3 questions, the 4th one is, what must you do now? All right. So you would have answered all of those questions. You would have answered them. And be honest with yourself. Once you've answered them, be honest with yourself, and then you must then ask yourself, what must I do? Okay, so the bastard has left you with 1 or 2 or 3 children, and he's busy sleeping with a whole bunch of chicks, or now that your job is gone, your friends are no longer there, you're all on your own. All the people you used to buy alcohol for, buy drinks for, party with are no longer there, right? What must you do? So the next stage, okay, now you would have thought about what must you do. Okay, maybe stop maybe I must stop drinking, stop smoking, stop eating junk, stop messing around, or whatever the case might be. All right. So it's a time to really reflect on on you, where you are, and how you got to where you are, right? So what must you do? The second stage is this. This is where it's like you are rebooting. Like laptop freezes, phone freezes, I sabatlo move. What do? You reboot it or restart. Boom. It explodes. Same thing with your life, you reboot. What do you do when you get to the reboot stage? All right, so this is probably the most difficult stage. So you've tried everything, if freezes laptop or phone freezes, now you are rebooting it. All right, so this is where you need to change. So maybe you've got bad habits. Maybe you spend money on cigarettes, on alcohol. Maybe you go and visit people that really don't matter to you. You spend your petrol. You spend money on trying to please people that give no sense to you. You've justified these relationships, but they're actually very meaningless to you, right? Maybe you need to stop hanging around with those kind of people, right? Maybe you need to leave your partner. Leave him. Leave her. You're not moving anywhere. The relationship is stagnant. You are not happy. They are not happy. The kids are not happy. Your life is just standing still. Maybe it's just not working out. Maybe you should leave, right? Maybe you should move out of the house because you're staying with your mom. Maybe your mom, when are you going to get up and get a job? When are you going to go and da-da-da? When are you going to da-da-da? When are you going to leave? When are you going to buy your own house? Maybe you should just leave. Kick the nest and go, right? Then you might have to stop hanging around with people that expose you to things that actually do harm to you. If you know your liver has a problem, your heart has a condition, your stomach is a problem, your health is packing up, maybe you should ask yourself, who am I hanging out with that make me do the things that I shouldn't do? Maybe they don't make you, but you know how peer pressure and influence, that's why people have influencers. They influence you without even you realizing it. You're taking tablets, you're taking things that are not good for you, right? Maybe you should stop hanging around with them. All right. This is a stage where you need to change and be clear with your vision. You must say, I'm not happy with where I am. I'm not happy with my body. I'm not happy with my health. I'm not happy with my finances. I'm not happy with this. I'm not happy with that. Now, I need to be clear in my mind. Clear. You must be clear in your mind. So to get to this state of clarity, there's a couple of things you might need to do. You must be used to staying on your own, being on your own, meditating, praying, and just thinking, and not allowing negative things to cloud your mind. Not allowing negative things to cloud your mind. Read things that empower your mind. Read positive books. Read mind-building books. There's so much content online that you can read to change and work on your mind. And your mind is the most powerful hard drive in your body. The most powerful hard drive in your body. So it's time that you know and understand how powerful it is and that you need to work on it. Just like a guy who goes and works out, builds muscle, you need to work on your mind as well, right? So once you've worked on your mind and you're clear on your vision, or no, man, I no longer want to go there, I now want to go there. And it's okay. And you don't have to explain yourself to anyone. Look, it's your life. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. It's okay to be going left and then you're going right. It's okay to be Christian and then you become Muslim. It's okay to be a Pirates fan and become a Chiefs fan. It's okay to be an ANC member and join the EFF. It's okay to be an EFF member and join the DA. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone. It's your life, dude. It's your life, girl. Right? So choose a path you want to take. And choose it. Don't let outside influences, anything, loud noise, people, tell you. You must decide, or aksabatlo tswa so, ke tswa so. Aksabatlo nna seganana, aksabatlo nna ntwane stoutu, aksabatlo senya, aksabatlo nna legodu, aksabatlo ba ing. I wanna be on a righteous path. I wanna choose a path I wanna choose. Just like people who were good people and become bad people. It's a choice and a path they chose, right? Then this is where you restart and you reboot what Timai or switch on. Boom. Okay. New systems. Mind plugged in, cleared, no outside noise blocking you anymore. Mind clear, ketwaso. Then this is where you must learn to manage your thoughts, right? Your mind is a powerful tool. You must control your thoughts, feeding your brain with positive things such as reading motivational books and stuff. So do that. Make sure on this path, you are equipping yourself with things that you need, right? Read, listen. There's tons of speakers on Spotify, on YouTube, audiobooks. Read motivational stuff. Understand motivational stuff. Read about mind stuff, right? Emotional intelligence stuff. Read up. There's so much content around it to understand your own emotions and how your mind works. So let's say a negative thought comes into your mind. You must be able to it's like switching on a remote. So you are clicking, you're like, I'm watching 405. I don't like the news. Click 404. Don't like 404. Click whatever channel. You're watching sports. You don't like sports. Click, I'm watching comedy. Sit there, walacha, you're at a happy place. Cool, that's where you stay and watch. Choose what you put inside your mind. And you must be able to have like a security guard at your mind somewhere. Ummeda or no man. I am not ready to entertain a negative thought. Negative thought, kopa otu. One of the guys that actually inspired me was a guy who used to coach Kobe Bryant and used to coach, he also coached Michael Jordan. He says, what it takes to coach winners, right? People who win. And I used to win a lot at school, right? I used to win. I used to be addicted to winning. And along the way, life got the best of me and I stopped competing. And I wasn't competing with anyone. I was competing with myself, right? And I used to love beating myself, right? I would run against other people, but I'd love to win. I used to love scoring. Love scoring. Scoring. I still I don't play soccer as much, but if anything, how about Ndlalisa anyway? Ndlalisa ko number 9 or unkonye ko 11. I'm gonna score goals for you without a doubt, right? I don't dribble like I used to. I'm obviously a bit older. I just bang goals. Bang. I love winning. I love the feeling of winning, right? But there are other areas that I neglected that I did not win at, right? And you got to make sure that, so this guy teaches to say, when a negative mind goes to your mind, he would stop and go like this. He goes, and he wants the negative thoughts to get out of his ear. And when you do this, you can actually feel it, Luana. Try it. Go like this. Ne? So every time there's a negative thought, or no, I'm not going to make it, life's not good. I'm not going to make it. I think I'm not going to keep my job, or I'm not going to get that job. Oh, I don't think I'm going to get that girl. Knock the negative thoughts and be conscious of your negative thoughts. Because your negative thoughts, they compound. They're like interest. So Kenya Iwani, it builds up, then you entertain it. You watch it. Then it builds up. Then it becomes big. Then why park? Why deposit? It stays there somewhere. You park it in a universe. It compounds in a universe. It becomes real in real life. And there's a lot. I'm sure you've got examples of things you thought about or things you are going through that you actually spoke about years ago and they're happening to you right now, including positive ones. No, ke tlo gola one day, ke tlo ba lelapa. Boom, there it is. No, ke tlo gola one day, I'm going to be a professional, I'm going to be on radio, I'm going to be on TV, I'm going to be doing this, da, 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 da. Boom, it happened. Whatever it is, there are some good things you said and they're happening today. Negative ones, there are bad ones that you said, they're happening to you today. All right, so I say this, that you must be hungry enough to want to change your situation. Otherwise, it's a complete waste of time. Complete waste of time. You must say, there was a song we used to sing about those with dry lips are the ones that are hungry. So your lips must be dry in order for us to see that you are hungry. The problem with us, sometimes we become very complacent. So you get to a certain level, you were climbing, you were hungry, then you get to the certain level. And that's what happened with the level of our leadership in the country, is that they were climbing, they were hungry, they were actually in the trenches, fighting, carrying guns. They got into power, got into suits, got into blue cars, and then they became complacent. They were comfortable. They forgot about why they wanted to be in the struggle in the first place, why they wanted to liberate our people in the first place, why black executives fought to climb the ladder in the corporate sector. But when they got to the top, they kicked the ladder. They only wanted a few of themselves to be at the top of the ladder. So sometimes we become complacent with our lives. We are comfortable with the BM we're driving, a Mercedes we have, a whatever car we have, a house we're living in. We are comfortable with it until something happens to you. You lose that job, you lose a loved one, you lose your health, and then you wake up and you say, shit. And I'm partly to blame. And I'm doing this because I am telling you that I have gone through what I'm talking about. And I'm sharing it with you young peeps out there because it's my journey. It's my journey. My journey, bro. My journey. And I know a lot of people that are going through what I've gone through. They are married and they are not happy and they are being divorced. They are losing their loved ones. They don't like going home. Machita ba dula ba le ko di taverning, machita ba dula ba le ko di spotong, machita they are always in pubs, they're always partying, they're always 20, 30 years, 40 years younger than them. But their wives at home. Because they might have lots of money, we might see them as successful in whatever way, but they are complacent, they are not happy with where they are. So their actions are as a result of the thoughts and the things they said to themselves in their minds, and now they are coming home to roost. They are manifesting. Stage 3. This is where you rebuild. Think of a tornado in the US comes, wipes out all those wooden houses that the Americans love to build. Everything's wiped out. They rebuild. Think of that place in the East where the tsunami hit. Everything got wiped out. They had to rebuild. Think of an economy that's failed. In Greece was once a powerhouse. It went through an economic downfall. Now they are in a rebuilding phase. China had to rebuild. Japan, they were hit by the Hiroshima. Everything was wiped out. 2008, we had a global economic meltdown. People lost millions. People lost their lives. People lost thousands, hundreds and thousands of money. They had to rebuild. The rebuild phase is a phase that comes to everyone in any stage of their lives. You might not be at this rebuild phase because you are comfortable, you are happy, things are going well. Who's to say that it's not going to happen to you in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? Maybe it's happening to you now. So use the 2 steps I shared, the 4iR's. Now the third one is the rebuild one, right? What is the rebuild phase? This is a time where you lay a new foundation. Okay, the rains came, took your house because you built it on sand. Now you build it on a solid ground. Now you put a new foundation in. You are digging. You're making your foundation deeper and stronger. You are reinforcing your foundation. This is where you read your Bible, you read inspirational books, you are rebuilding yourself from inside out. From inside. You're building your heart, you're building your mind, and you're building your body. Your body, you build it by walking, by running, by exercising, by gymming. Your mind, you build it by reading, reprogramming it. You program computers, you program you update your phone, you update your laptop, you update your security systems. You must upgrade your mind. And so what if people say you've changed? So what if they say, no, this one, no change it, no, so I went totally with you. It's your life, it's your mind, it's your heart, it's your body, yours. So change. And this is a new stage where if you find the job sector you were in, there's no longer work, there's no longer job. So you've gone to study some things and then now there's no jobs in the sector in which you are qualified in and studied, like the majority of the 700,000 unemployed graduates at the moment. You go learn new skills. You improve your skills. You've got skills already, you learn new skills. And you can do that. Google has a lot of platforms where you can learn project management skills, you can learn business management skills. Even if you just say free courses online, there are so many. And honestly, don't go to the conventional ones that put you in a shit that you are in, like a university type. There's a place called Mind Valley. It's an online, like they've got a whole lot of lessons. They teach you things and these are former CEOs of multinational companies who, some of them have walked away from their roles as CEOs to say, we want to empower people, want to teach people. So they teach you the real skills at the highest level. Check it out, Mind Valley, and there's a couple of others that you can do free courses, and some courses are far cheaper than what it would cost you to scale, right? Just so that you improve your skills and improve your to learning new skills. Some of it you can learn on YouTube. You can watch a lot of YouTube tutorials and just build your skill. This is the rebuild phase, dog. Then, and here's what you can also do. You actually do what they call a needs analysis, right? So there was a time I used to work for Metropolitan Life and work for Nedbank. I used to be a financial advisor. We used to do this. A needs analysis is what we used to call it. A needs analysis is, firstly, before you sell somebody a funeral cover, a life policy, a retirement annuity, an endowment policy, or any other life insurance product, financial products, you first want to see whether this person has a need for it and that there is an affordability that this person can actually afford it. Otherwise, the policy lapses. And then when it lapses, it costs you money as a salesperson. So you must make sure, okay, this person earns 10 grand, 3 grand goes towards rent, 4 grand goes towards a car, a grand goes towards school fees for crash, another 2 grand goes towards food, another grand for petrol. Can this person afford a retirement annuity of $1,000 a month? They've got 30 years to go before they retire? Can they afford to pay $1,000 a month? That actually appreciates every year by at least 3 to 4%. So next year, taba khafa a little bit more. A year before, taba khafa a little bit more. So in 20 years, this person would be paying nearly 1,600 rand. Can they afford it in the next year or 2 years? So that's a needs analysis. Can they afford to take on a life cover, funeral cover, as well as a retirement annuity? Or can you create a package that encompasses everything so that this person has one premium and a one-stop shop? Can they? There was another one policy that I used to like. It used to be called final expenses. Old Mutual used to have final expenses. So we would look at it and say, okay, this person does not have a funeral cover, and yes, they've got a provident fund. Their provident fund has a life policy, so there's no need of them taking a retirement annuity as well as a life cover. Maybe they need to take a final expenses, which pays out in less than 24 hours, gives you about $35,000, so that your family is able to buy immediate things and sort out immediate stuff. So this is what it needs analysis. So you ask yourself very difficult questions to say, do I need this? Do I need that? Do I want this? Do I want this? Do I need to live here? Do I need to live there? Do I need to be here? Do I need to drive this car? Do I need to be like this? Do I need to be like that? Do I need to go to church? Do I need to go? It's a needs analysis of your own life, and you must ask yourself those difficult questions. And then after that, you then do a SWOT analysis. Your SWOT analysis, you look at your strengths, you list all of them, right? You say, here are my strengths, right? Then I'm going to draft all my weaknesses. I'm impatient. I'm an instant gratification person. I want things now. I smoke. I drink. I all the weaknesses you have. I fall under pressure very quickly. Be honest with yourself if you want to do this exercise properly. Then you then go through opportunities. You've done your strengths, you've done your weaknesses, now you're dealing with opportunities. So you look at opportunities and say, now that I have these strengths, where are the opportunities? Maybe I have these weaknesses. Where are the opportunities? Maybe if you stop drinking, it's an opportunity on its own. Maybe if I stop drinking, stop smoking, stop going to pubs, stop going to chill machita endlessly, kodi pabong, stop trying to please chicks I don't need to, maybe I can save $500. That's an opportunity. 500 rand take romella somewhere. Whatever. You look at the opportunity. Maybe hanka ploma le, ka stop ploma leba. That guy, it might open up new opportunities. Maybe if I start watching this podcast, it will teach my mind, teach me emotional intelligence, and it will help me. Maybe that's an opportunity. Then you look at your threats. Okay, so if I don't stop drinking, what's going to happen to me? I'm a 40-something-year-old guy. My stomach is big. Can't run. I'm unhealthy. Dude, if you don't stop, if you don't at least everything is just gonna go down, dog. Otlobali diabetes in your 50s, in your 40s. Like, you're gonna have serious mental issues, because their mental issues are going to be affected by your health issues. Right? So where are the threats? If I don't stop spending recklessly the way it gets angateng, this is where I'm going to get to. I've had to do my own SWOT analysis and ask myself these difficult questions. Uncomfortable session. Uncomfortable. Because I must be honest. So you've done your needs analysis. You've done your SWOT analysis. This is part of the rebuilding. this is what you are putting in your foundation. This is your foundation. Then you're going to come to the walls, right? This is where you come to the walls, right? You've got the foundation. You're building up. This is where you do things like you start watching podcasts that make sense to you, that help empower you. Don't watch matlakala. Masipa nje, busy nje, shabane le skandale, shabane le jubjubu, uyajola 99, busy shabane le ntho tse leng hore they are not adding value to your life. There's a lot of speakers online that can help you. One of my favorites is A Diary of a CEO. Watch that podcast. They interview CEOs. In that, I get to learn how did the most successful 1%ers get to where they are, and where are they emotionally, and where are they mentally? Did they think acquiring, buying and owning Ferraris and all these expensive things, cars, staying in villas and all of that, did it make them happier? Did it make them sad? Did they lose loved ones because they looked at toxic masculinity a lot more? They focused on being the boss, being the one to be seen, being the one in the area, 18 area, that they actually alienated themselves from other people. So it's a very great podcast, Diary of a CEO. Go and watch it. There's a whole lot of other podcasts that that I really strongly recommend that you watch if you want to deal with the mind. And there's a whole lot of other speakers you can follow. If you want to go high level on the mind, there's a guy by the name of Bob Proctor. He's like 100 times years ahead of his time. May his soul rest in peace. His content is on another level when it comes to dealing with the mind, right? So you're building the walls, right? You're building new relationships. You're building new networks. You realize, alright, man, man, it's not bringing me anything much. It was good when it was good, or it wasn't good, because look at me now. Because of Batuba, but why, or whatever the case might be. This is where you start building new relationships. Maybe you build a relationship with a doctor, your local doctor, maybe your accountant, your tax practitioner. Maybe you build a relationship with project managers, building managers. You find them somewhere. Whatever the new path you want to take, find people within there and they'll be able to help guide you, right? All right, so you attend seminars. There's a lot of online seminars that are available. If they're not even available, go and watch old YouTube seminars on whatever industry you want to choose. Just go Google whatever industry. If you're in a petroleum industry, look at it. If you are in the energy sector, look at it. If you're in the motor industry, Google it or YouTube it. You'll find a whole lot of stuff. You can even follow TEDx. There's a whole lot of people that come and present at TEDx. There's old stuff that are still relevant today, right? Then you get a mentor, right? Be it in a new field, a new completely field. Get a mentor in it. Let that person mentor you, help you find and discover your new path, your new way, right? And then what you do is you follow that new path you are in. I get so you choose it, follow it. I get your mind is clear. Substances are no longer affecting your mind. There's a clarity in your mind. There's clarity in your heart. Follow a new path and stick to it. So those are the 3 stages that I've just gone through. 3 stages. And listen, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. It's not cheap watching such a video. It's long, but thank you for watching it. Stage 4. Stage 4. Not load shedding. Stage 4. This is where you rebrand yourself. Now that you know that you're going that way, you know where your path is leaded. Now you rebrand. How do you rebrand? How do you rebrand? So let's say you have now chosen a path where you are in the church. But you want to be a pastor, no. You go to Bible school, you start talking about God, you start posting about God, you start posting verses, start praying for people, start visiting the sick, and you pray for them, and you wish them well, you encourage them. Let's say you are getting into a sports fraternity, you want to be a coach, you are doing your courses online or whatever, you are participating in a new path. People see you as that new path that you are taking. You can even go further and rebrand yourself online. Create a new Facebook page, or you don't even need to recreate a new one. The one that you have, change your profile picture and change your messaging. Change your messaging. Don't be posting smoking oka pipes. Don't be posting smoking cigars, cigarettes if you have stopped. Don't be posting smoking weed if you have stopped. Don't be posting drinking alcohol if you've stopped, if you've chosen a new path. Hauli cherry, akere machita arduli. We don't stay long with the relationship. Sometimes ra sharpa fella rafit. Sharper off it. Don't allow for that shit to happen no more. Don't be a bicycle. Don't be a bicycle. Don't let every nigga have a ride. Stop niggas from riding for nothing. Don't be posting about John today, about Sipo tomorrow, about Jabu next week. Don't be doing that. Same applies to you, Machita. Who become It's bad. So you must have a thorough honesty and clarity in who you want to be, like what you want to be seen as. And you must repackage your skills, your talents, your experience, your networks. Then you go to the market. So I've had to rebrand myself a few times ever since I'm no longer a spokesperson or no longer head of the DIP in the Joburg region. I'm no longer preaching about government, a good story to tell about government. I'm now talking about self-empowerment. I'm now talking about empowering others. I'm now inviting people on a Free Ride podcast. I'm inviting people to talk about what they do, their struggles, to empower other people. I'm rebranding myself. I'm going into a completely new industry as well in the next week or two. Completely new, away from politics. So I'm rebranding myself in 2 new different paths. Well, podcasting is what I love doing. I love radio. I love talking. As you can see, I've been talking for the last 20, 30 minutes. That's what I love doing. That's what I love doing. I love sharing information. I love teaching. I love empowering. So that will still be brand Sipo. But I've rebranded myself. I've chosen my own path. The stages I'm talking about I've gone through. There are things that I've had to stop, things that I've had to quit, people I've had to let go, relationships that I had to cut down. I'm not talking I'm not doing. I had to stop all those things. I had to think about my body. I had to think about my mind. I had to think about my kids. I had to think about my future. I had to think about when I get to 50. 6 years away from 50, man. Can you believe it? Can't believe it. So I'm thinking about those things already. Do I really want to be tired when I'm 60, when I'm 50? Do I really want to be like overweight when I'm 50? Do I really not see my dick when I'm standing straight because mukaba umuka? Do I really want to be taking all sorts of different tablets for ulcer, for diabetes, for high blood pressure, for all sorts of different things? Do I really want to do that? And the answers were no, dog. No. It was great. It was fun. Actually, it wasn't really that fun. Actually, it was. Come to think of it, I was naughty for a long time. So, but I realized, and I think somehow God led me to where I've had to reboot and say, fuck it. No ways. No more. So you've got to, in the rebranding phase, you must repackage your skills, your talents, because God gave you talents. And He gave you more than one talent. Your talent could be talking, your talent could be running, your talent could be soccer, your talent could be drawing, it could be anything. Analytical thinking, it could be anything. And God expects us to multiply the talents He's given us. If you think I'm lying, go and read the parable of the talents. Go and read it. Parable of the talents, where God was upset with the 3 people He gave talents to. And one of them buried their talents. And God was angry. So angry that He took it and gave it to the other 2 people who multiplied their talents from 2 to 4, from 4 to 8. So you have more than 1 talent, 2 talents, 4 talents. You've got more. The problem, Kore, school did not teach us to value the talents that God has given us. Maybe maybe you can build cupboards, build couches, fix cars, do carpentry. And then you went and studied something that has got nothing to do with where God has given you talents. So take your skills and take your talents, merge them together, and find a way to rebuild yourself. Use the experience you have, whether good or bad or negative. Your negative experience was a learning experience. You learned, Jorge, it's an experience that you've gone through, that you bought a car of $500,000 that you didn't need. You learned, Jorge, you bought a car, a house, whatever, things you didn't need. You didn't need. Now you're sitting with all those things and you don't know what to do with them. And they are worth less. So you need to be able to reevaluate yourself and be honest as much as possible. So once you've used your experience and your networks, now you go to the market. Like, market, I'm ready. Who's ready to use me? Who's ready to use my services? Who's ready to leverage off my new brand? I'm now a doctor. I'm now a consultant. I'm now a physician. I'm now a traditional healer. I'm now whatever you are. You are a pastor now. The market, you must test the market. The market, are you ready for me? So you go to the market. So those, my friends, are the 4iR's. The 4iR's, right? When I say them again, the review, the reboot, the rebuild, and the rebrand. Those are my 4iR's. Internal, 4iR's, right? Okay, just quick ones. How to rebrand yourself, right? Clearly define your objective. Be clear about it. It's like saying, honey, we're going on holiday. She's like, honey, where are we going? We're going to we're going to Mozambique. Actually, we're going to the Portuguese islands. Oh, okay. You know where you're going. Portuguese islands. Okay, honey. All right, how are we gonna get there? Okay, so we're gonna drive from here. We're gonna go to the airport. We're gonna leave our car there for 4 days. And it's gonna be parked. Maybe we go to Lanseria, or we go to OR, or we're gonna leave it, go riding. Go the Gautrain. And for 4 days, you know how much it's gonna pay for a parking for 4 days. You're gonna catch a Gautrain, go to OR, catch a bus, catch a plane. You know how much it's gonna cost. You're gonna go to Durban. You're probably gonna go there a day before you get on a ship. You're gonna sleep somewhere. You know how much you're gonna pay to sleep there, how you're gonna get there, and how you're gonna leave from there. Get on the ship. You know what you need to pack with you. You know, you get to the ship, you on board the ship, you meet the requirements. You don't take the things that you know you're not allowed to, unless you are naughty like I was. You get on the ship and you go to the Portuguese islands. You're not driving the boat. You don't know, because you're on the boat. You can't see off the coast of Durban how far you are leading on to the Portuguese islands. You see when you get there. You see when you get there. But you know where you're going, right? So be clear about where you're going. Some things might not necessarily be very clear. You'll be clear about it's going to cost me 50 Rand a day to park my car at Gautrain. You'll be clear about my plane tickets, 2 people, 4 people, how much it's going to cost. You'll be clear about those things. Once you're on the boat, you know where you're going, but you don't know where you are. And when you're on a 4-night trip on a boat, I can tell you this much. After day 1, day 2, you don't know. You've lost sense. Once you're in the middle of the ocean and you can't see anything, you don't know where you're going. You don't know if you're going forward or going back. But your vision is clear. We are going to the Portuguese islands. We've touched down, go to the Portuguese islands. We are now on our way back. We must be back on day 4 at the Durban border. On your way back, you don't know where you are on the trip, how far you are. You just have complete faith that you're going to get to where you need to get to. And then you will pick up from Durban, how follow the boat. Okay, sharp. Now that we are here, who's picking us up? Are we calling a Bolt or Uber? Where are we going to sleep tonight? Or are we catching a plane back home to Joburg? Some things along your way will not necessarily be clear as long as you are knowing where you're going. So clearly define your objective. Say, that's where I'm going. You're going to Cape Town? Cool. Are you driving? Are you flying? Are you catching a bus? How are you getting there? All those modes of transport, there are different costs element to it. The road, it will take you longer, dog. You might need to sleep somewhere along the way, unless you're going to do a 14, 16-hour drive. Or unless you're going to sit in that bus for 18 hours. Either way, you know that you're going to Cape Town. Determine what your unique selling point is. Everything. Like if you're saying, I'm going to Cape Town, I'm going to fly. There's a reason why you choose to fly. It's faster. It's quicker. You'll get there. You'll have more time when you get there. You won't be tired, etc., etc. When you choose a bus, I want to do sightseeing. I want to go on a road trip. I want to have fun along the way with my friends. It's cheaper on the bus. I want to drive, road trip. It's more fun. I'll have my own food, my own drinks. I'm going with my buddies. It's going to be fun. There are some unique selling points to the mode of transport you use to get to Cape Town. So same thing applies to you. You've got different skills. Different skills, different experiences. Create a coherent narrative of your transformation. That's what you got to do. You got to say, Kiara, and Kitlo Vaso. So, in your life, you must be clear. Cape Town. Along the way, you don't lose or hey, se ke le go bloom no. Hey, are ke go bloom fontaine gate gona le makhufe. Let me stop. And then you lost there for like 3-4 days. Be coherent with your strategy. Be coherent with your narrative. Be clear with where you're going. Don't lose yourself along the way. So if you're saying, I want to lose weight, I want to have a six pack, I want to build some muscles, do those things all the time, repeatedly, and stay on message. Stay on point. And introduce your brand, your new brand to your existing network. Your existing network, you can go back to them and say, Bafethu, I don't drink, I don't do this, I don't do that. Sekilem chachana no wabona no ki matotana sawesele no. Guti. Now you're reintroducing. Bafethu na ki no. Shapadi tipi no. I'm picking up now. I'm building muscle. Bafethu na. I'm now doing TV now. I'm doing podcasting now. I'm doing, reintroduce your new brand to your market. Like now, people can't handle me, I think, on social media because I've rebranded myself. I say things I could not say when I was in politics. Now I can say whatever I want to say. And some people can't handle it. And I know some of them will go for me personally because I'm telling the honest truth and I'm being open. Especially my comrades. And it worries me sometimes. Actually, I don't know. But yeah, I think sometimes it worries me. It's like when you are indoctrinated in a religion and you finally break through and you start speaking about how the indoctrination affected your mind, your thinking capabilities, how you've had to restrain yourself because of the indoctrination. And those who are still indoctrinated are going to come at you. Look at people who are Scientologists, who walk away from being an Amish, who walk away from even Catholics. Meet some people who are Catholics who move away from it and how they sorry man, I'm just getting calls. They speak about the indoctrination, and then people will say, yeah, he probably didn't get this, probably didn't get that, probably didn't. So they'll say all sorts of rubbish. They'll say all sorts of rubbish. All sorts of nonsense. Yeah, they're saying this because of that. They're saying this because of that. They're saying this because of that. And you're like, I can say it. I can say what I'm saying. So, Luena, you reintroduce your brand. And some people will stop drinking alcohol. And they'll talk about it. And say, I don't drink. Yazi, alcohol is not good for you. It's not good for me. It's not good for my body. I saw smoking was trending 2 days ago. Some guy was smoking Habli, went for a test, found that his chest had holes in it. Some guys, people were saying, I don't want to touch Hablis because I nearly died. My chest, I couldn't believe it when I went for an x-ray. Some people say, I ended up at an AA seeking help because I was abusive because of alcohol. I used to beat up my wife and children. I couldn't handle my emotions. So when they speak about their new selves, people who are still stuck there. They're like, I know. Yeah, they didn't know how to handle alcohol. Tina, we are fine. No, don't tell us about smoking cigars. We've been doing this for 10 years, 15 years. Nothing wrong with it. So don't be afraid to be criticized at times by the people or the life that you've just walked away from. Show your accomplishments. All right. So these are the 4 ways that you can do to rebrand yourself. Show your accomplishments. I'm sure there's a lot. You might be a mother. You know how many people cannot be mothers? There are women who can't fall pregnant. There are women who could not even get married. Let alone hold a relationship. And when you got married, maybe because of your values, maybe because of the way that you treat your husband, maybe because of the way you treat your wife, maybe because of the kind of guy that you are, you manage to find a good woman who in turn gives you a good life and gives you a good marriage. It's an accomplishment. Many people have kids who are not well, man, who are sick, who have all sorts of ailments. Wena watlanjeka, your fresh blood and fresh sperm, boom, produce good, healthy, beautiful children. That might be an accomplishment. Maybe not for others, but for you might be some accomplishments. Maybe you've done some good things. You've built a community center. You've built a creche. You've built a structure. Maybe a street committee. Maybe your street committee is alive because of you. Maybe you've helped build a homeless shelter. Maybe I don't know what the fuck you've done. But I'm sure you know. And I carry your strengths. Your strengths should be able to have some elements of good accomplishments that you've achieved in your life. Maybe if you start turning away some of your weaknesses into positives, it might just be some accomplishment. So let me tell you, my dear friends, those are the 4iR's. The 4iR's. It's an hour-long session. I've put it together for you. I'm going to share it with people as I come across them, young people. You want me to come and speak at your organization? I'll share them. I'll unpack them. You want the one-on-one session? I'll share it. I'll unpack them. But this video should be sufficient. Share it if you want to. This is really to rebuild and rebrand, reboot yourself. It's not too late. It's not too late. Colonel Sanders rebranded himself at the ages of about 60-something. Built KFC in his 60s. Those McDonald brothers, they only became successful in their late 50s. So, let me tell you, man, it's never too late. Never too late to rebrand yourself. Never too late. There are too many examples I can share. It's never too late. So, this message is for you who is going through a very difficult time. You may have lost your job. You may have gone through a difficult time. And this message is for you. This message is not for people who are here to judge what I'm saying, who are here to have some stupid, silly comments, who are here to have a silly opinion. This is about what I share from my heart, what I've experienced in my life, what I've gone through in part of my life, what I've seen people go through in their lives. I've got a serious network of people that I know, that I've come into contact with over my life. And I've seen them and seen their lives. I hope it works for you. All right, man. This has been another session of the Free Ride podcast, where I just share conversations with myself, conversations with you, uncensored content. You won't get this on radio. You won't get this on TV. You can get it on YouTube. You can get it on Facebook. Get it on Twitter. You'll get it on Instagram. And you'll get it on TikTok. Definitely TikTok. All right, my people. May God be with you, man. Whatever it is you're going through, you'll overcome it. Peace. Boom.